Hi, this is Nia with Nia Handcrafted. It has been a little bit since I did a video, and one of the reasons is I don't really love editing. But today I got home and I got some candle science in the mail, and so I thought that I would hop on here and show you what I ordered and one of the new flights to try out. A few weeks ago, one of my coworkers came in and said, "Hey, you make candles, right?" Because I started this candle hobby and I didn't really get into it. So I had ordered a bunch of these fragrances from a place called Candle Science. So would you like them? And I said, absolutely, I would like them. And they had a bunch of the 1 ounce size fragrances. And of those, I know that I really loved the Harvest Moon, which was, a fragrance that when it was released, I really enjoyed the sound of it, but it's so hard to get, when you're looking at the scent description notes. I've bought so many 16-ounce bottles of fragrances that I thought would be right up my alley. And then I get them and they might be nice, but they're just not for me. But with that 1 ounce bottle, I was able to test out the Harvest Moon and I knew that I liked it. So I knew I wanted to get that one. This is one of my new vessels because I started doing some concrete candle making and I put the Harvest Moon in one of these little cauldrons. These are some of the cement vessels that I'll be releasing in the fall. So big shout out and thanks to Alan at Earthglow who had a lot of tips for me. When you're working with fragrances, we all know that it is subjective. We all have our own brains that associate certain things with certain fragrances. I have a very developed limbic system that has very strong likes and dislikes, as yours does probably too. So whereas I really love amber, you might really not like that. I'm not a big fan of powdery scents or super sweet scents, but you might like that. So take that with a grain of salt. This is just my impression. And I also have had one that I'll talk about, that I didn't really love out of the bottle, but got it in wax and loved it. And that's happened to me a few times. So we'll chat a little bit about that one coming up. This is not a sponsored video. I purchased these fragrances with my own money. These opinions are my own, but they're my honest opinions out of the bottle of a couple of the fragrance oils that I purchased from Candle Science, as well as their new flight, Once Upon a Holiday. So let's get started with the review. One of the things I love is that we get these like eco-friendly kind of cornstarch. I guess that's cornstarch peanuts. And I will save these for later. So I did get the Harvest Moon. It is a fall scent. It makes me think of fall. It has a nice fruity fragrance. So out of the bottle, I don't think that I would, purchase it and love it. But once I got it in wax, it really had a nice berry and spice and kind of a leafy note to it. And so I definitely am going to use that this fall in my candles. I found over the past few years that despite, I think, having a really strong pumpkin spice fragrance in cute little pumpkin jars, that people just are not buying it. I have a handful of people that really love it and others don't. And I don't burn that one a lot. I mean, the one that I have is a little bit of pumpkin souffle from Brambleberry, plus the gingerbread from Shea and Company. So it has like that baked good smell. It has that sweet spice smell, that warm and inviting. I've got something nice in the oven smell, but it's in my execution or it's in the population here. But cannot sell that basic scent much. So I'm hoping to get some more, something with a little bit of a different personality and try out the markets and see that it works, because Lord knows it has been really rough with the markets around here recently. Another one of the scents that I actually have smelled this one before was Egyptian Amber. I'm really picky with my amber. I really love the resinous quality. I think when I was a teenager, I even had some in a box that I wore around my neck. I love that smell. It is warming and grounding and just a very soothing scent for me and transportive. And when I first smelled this, I think my friend Erin at Catalyst and Alchemist Candle Company sent it to me and it just wasn't for me. And then I smelled it again and put it in incense, with that sample bottle that I got, and I loved it. So let's smell it again. Yeah, it's still, it is that warm kind of amber that's not powdery and not soapy. It burns really cleanly in the incense that I used it with. And so I will be using that with some other concrete vessels that are a little different. I have a book candle mold that's going to be more of like 1001 Nights, and it's going to have some warm spiced scents as well. I do love a warm scent, a spiced scent, so this one is going to be great. I'm a sucker for all things pomegranate, and I think pomegranate is a hard fragrance to find that's done well because it often is kind of that sweet bubblegum smell. And I have some pomegranate that I mix. Currently, the pomegranate honey candles that I have are the pomegranate from Nature's Garden, and I mix that with Wild Mountain Honey from the fragrance. No, I mix that with Wild Mountain Honey from the Flaming Candle. I have not smelled pomegranate cider yet, but when I saw it, I was like, I have to try it. I hope that it's not too spicy because I don't want to, you know, I do have people that are like, oh, it's too much cinnamon, it's too much clove, and they're wrong, but they do buy candles, and so I like to have some representation for them. So let's do this one. I think I'm gonna like it better in wax. It is very tangy. It's tangy like a pomegranate. It does smell juicy. I'm not getting a lot of like the mold spices, so I think this one's gonna be okay. Again, for the people that ask for not spiced scents, the people that don't like the pumpkin spice, you know, maybe they can have pomegranate. We'll see. Okay, let's see. Let's just pick them up at random. Autumn Amberette. Okay, so I'm expecting amber. We'll see if I like it better than the Egyptian amber. Oh, that's very nice. This smells very upscale. I am getting the amber. Almost also like a benzoin. It's not powdery. This could be so many things. I almost feel like it's more of a body product. If you're doing perfumes, if you're doing body butters, this would be a really great one. Approved for candles and soaps. Candles approved, 3 to 10%, and soaps at 2 to 6%. So you'd have to check for lotions and see what your percentage is, but that really smells just like, it could be a great body spray, nice and light, non-offensive, a good amber. Okay, so good job, candle science. The next one is Winter Chalet. Okay, so let's see what a Winter Chalet smells like. In my head, it should be good. I have a candle called Cabin for One, and so I'm always dreaming about these little getaways. It almost smells a little bit like a gourmand. So I'm getting kind of like that cinnamon pine cone kind of smell. It does smell like maybe, yeah, I mean, Winter Chalet is probably a good name, like a more expensive type of cabin in the snow. It's not crisp. There is kind of a soapiness at the edge of smelling this one. I'm getting candle more than I'm getting body product on this one, although it might be a nice room spray as well. Cashmere pumpkin. Okay, well, maybe it's I don't remember what the fragrances were. Maybe it's clear based on that now, because there's some that I just talked about. Maybe it was kind of, there was an inception moment at checkout. But cashmere pumpkin, let's see what this has got going for us. I don't know that I'm in love with this. There is some kind of smoky note that does not feel like it goes with this. I'm getting the cashmere, I'm getting the sweetness, and then right at the end scent note, there is some kind of hickory or something that I'm picking up that I'm not loving. So that one is not for me. Maple, leaf, and acorn. I have a big bottle of maple fragrance, and I have not really used it. I got it last year, I want to say, from the Flaming Candle, and I felt like it was really good. It was a really nice maple candy smell, but I think maybe I just had too many other gourmands and I didn't use it. Hopefully this year I get to go through some, but it is kind of like a straight, it's their sugared maple. It really does smell like a straight kind of maple candy. Not sickly sweet like maple syrup, but kind of, you know, sweet and along those lines. Maple leaf and acorn. This one smells like candy. It's not bad. I think it would sell. I think it's more candle than it is soap. Um, it has kind of a chocolatey note to that. So maybe it's got maybe from the acorn or kind of like chestnut vibes. What I'm picking up. I'm kind of middle of the line on this one. Sometimes when I have these kind of 1 ouncers that I don't love, I do the big candles, 12 to 13 ounce candles. Then I will use those for holiday gifts and just give them to people that I think vibe with this. My younger brother is huge into gourmand. Him and his wife always have like the butter toffee popcorn, the eggnog latte, the super sweet kind of fragrances. They will always take those. So maybe they'll get that one. Wild berry mead. Okay, so we're going with a lot of berries, a lot more berries. Bubblegum. I'm smelling bubblegum. I'm smelling like gosh, what is the it's the gum, fruit stripe gum is what it made me think of, like the blue and purple one, from the 90s. I don't know if that's still around, but it doesn't smell like a mead or a cider. It might be one that you just have to get it in wax and see what it does for you. It's a no for me, but if you do like kind of those sweeter kind of candy like smells, this one might be for you. This one I was intrigued by just because of the name Dark Orchard. It I do a lot of writing and I have some of the vibes from a dark orchard in there and the story that I'm currently working on. And so I think maybe this is probably the fragrance that I clicked on that made me say I really want to try out this one. So good branding. Let's see what it smells like. This is a deep berry. It's almost this. I think this might be what I would have thought I was getting with a pomegranate, because it smells like a darker red berry with just kind of like a little hint of greens on that one. I really love a dark berry candle, like in the before I used to make my own candles, or even when I used to make them for a hobby. I would buy in the holidays the dark red candles, so kind of cranberry, lingonberry, and then the dark green evergreen holly, whatever that was. And so they remain some of my best sellers are the evergreen ones. Some of them like Paul's Tree Farm I sell all year long because here in Portland those are a really popular candle. The berries not so much. That's another one I love. Brambleberries, lingonberry spice. And I think Cranberry Woods from Candle Science a couple of years ago, and they don't fly off the shelves as much as I thought that they would. That I still have them. They are still some of my favorite scents. A lot of my friends from the Northeast still really love those candles, and they get those candles in the fall and winter. But not so much here. That's okay. They're still gonna have them around, and I still, have candles to burn through January and February that are mine. So not sad. Okay, selenite glow. A lot of crystal communities here. I actually do crystals in my soaps. I do have a crystal candle, and so they are just really well loved in the community here. And so I'm curious to see, because I'm like, selenite, what does that smell like? Oh, this is funny because it almost smells like an oat milk and honey kind of smell, and then you get kind of a menthol note. Let me try this again. Hmm. I I have no idea what to make of this. I think I'll just have to put this away and like smell it again. Okay, so let's see my favorites. Okay, we have a top three. That is the Winter Chalet, Autumn Ambrette, and Dark Orchard. I think the Dark Orchard is going to be my favorite. It is really good. The Ambrette is really good. The Chalet. Okay. I think the Chalet is something that I have smelled before, so I'm going to put that in third place. The Autumn Ambrette is probably a second place because I'm not doing as many body products anymore, but I would wear this. I really do enjoy that scent. And the Dark Orchard is just a nice classic fall into winter scent that is, I think, going to work for me well, not too spicy. You know, I think my biggest disappointment was, maybe the cashmere pumpkin. Yeah, I can't even see myself using that. Followed by the wild berry mead, because it just is too bubblegummy for my use. Selenite glow. Well, let me talk about this other one first. Maple leaf and acorn. Totally could be used. Actually, you know what I think this would blend with would be like a coffee or hazelnut coffee, because it would give kind of the bakery notes. So I think that that one actually is either usable or blendable. Or Jay, you're getting a candle. Okay, let's do this white copal and bergamot. Okay, I'm gonna say this one is redeemable, because you could blend it probably and bring out the bergamot a little bit more, or even maybe if you wanted to go with something more resinous, you might try it with an amber. Actually, this is my very scientific method about blending. I will take the one that I want more of, the scent in the candle, and I'll hold that closer to my nose, and the one that I want less of kind of away, and then kind of go from there. It was worth a try. I don't think that I'll be mixing that in anything. And I'm just re-smelling the selenite. It's funny because the top note is just fine. Yeah, it really does smell like an oat milk and honey or something like that, like just this warm breakfasty type sweetness that's not overpowering. And then you get this weird menthol smell. I actually think I'm going to put the bergamot in last place and this one in second to last, because I have no idea what is happening with that fragrance. But as usual, if I get it in wax, I'll come back and let you know. YouTube is not the most common method that I use for social media, only because the editing takes me a long time. If you are looking for more fragrance videos, Alan at Earthglow and 1994 Candle Company are some of my favorite spots to check out. So give them a look. It's editing Nia, and I realized I forgot to talk about the free fragrance that comes with it. When you purchase over $25, you get a 1 ounce trial, and I got meadow thistle. Thistle is also an important element in some of the literary stuff that I'm doing, and it is pretty good. It is less floral than I thought. It's very herbaceous. I am going to get it in wax, but it almost smells like something that would be better in a soap. And but yeah, I'll get it in there and then let you know what I think. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have purchased any of these fragrances that we talked about today, then please let me know what your favorite is and what your favorite blend is. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.